I'm Melissa,
I'm Srikari.
and welcome to World History Student News.
Today's show will be on Chang'an, or modern-day Xi'an.
During Chang'an's height, it was the capital of the Qing Empire as well as the Sui Empire, and it was reached by the Grand Canal. It was surrounded by the East China Sea and the South China Sea. Chang'an was the beginning of the Silk Road's land routes. The Silk Road went all the way from the Middle East to East China. Today, it's called Xi'an, and it's still part of the country China.
For the history of Chang'an, in 212 BC, it was made a capital for the first time by Shi Huangdi during the Qin dynasty. In 200 BC, it was made an imperial government for the first time. In 192 BC, labor forces of men and women all around China came and built protective walls around the city, and it took 8 years to build. In 23 AD, much of the city was destroyed due to the fire and the fighting caused by a peasant rebellion. A known practice in the Qin dynasty was shun, meaning following to the grave. It was a live burial where servants and slaves were buried with their rulers as a sign of loyalty. Duke Jun was buried with 186 people. Now that's random. Chang'an was known for being the center of commercial, political, and social life, and it was also a major link between Central Asia and China. Because it was a trade city, many foreign merchants came and traded there, making it a very rich and popular city. It was also a very safe place because of the walls built around the city. There were watchguards and watchtowers there to protect the city. It was also popular because it was placed strategically on many Asian trade routes. Buddhist merchants could also practice their religion freely here.
Now on to the commercial products Xi'an was most well known for. Cotton and exotic spices were imported from India, and silk was the most prominent product traded in Xi'an with all kinds of colors and textures. And this would then be exported to the Western world because they had so much of it. Today, Xi'an is most known for as a thriving tourist location. Although they do still produce silk, it is just produced in factories. Xi'an during the Ming Dynasty was refurbished and returned to prominence as a center of politics and trade. The skill and effort of producing silk has still remained difficult and elaborate. Other modern exported goods include lighting equipment and automobile parts. Other imported goods include mechanical and electrical products. Internationally, U.S. is Xi'an's largest trading partner. Xi'an is most famous for its jiaozi, which is a sort of dumpling. It looks like a chicken and it contains chicken. It is made into 3 little sections, and each section contains different filling. Now that's random.
During its heyday, Chang'an had an ethnicity of Parthian, Indian, and Central Asian people because they were foreign merchants who practiced Buddhism in enclaves because the Han Dynasty officials let them. And today, their ethnicity is 93% Han.
The main religions practiced in Xi'an include Taoism, Islam, Christianity, and Roman Catholicism. But the most prominent religion practiced is Buddhism, because there were Buddhist foreign merchants that practiced this religion. And at first, the Chinese did not want to convert, but because of the presence of missionaries and monasteries, they slowly began to convert. And during the post-classical era, Buddhism became the most popular religion in Xi'an. Buddhism in China is different from Buddhism in India, because first of all, it is called Chinese Buddhism. And second of all, Buddhism in China has 8 different branches. Each branch has a different view on Buddhism. And 6 of these branches or schools were born in Chang'an, or modern-day Xi'an. And today you can still see these 6 temples in Xi'an. There are many religious buildings created in Xi'an. For example, the Big Wild Goose Pagoda, which housed many Buddhist manuscripts and is part of a temple complex and monastery. There's also a little goose pagoda, which is smaller than the Big Wild Goose Pagoda, but it has more stories. Xi'an is an important place for Taoism. The place for the founders, called Daoguan, is like a temple or a mosque or a church. And Laoguan Tuai is the first Daoguan, where Laozi finished his masterpiece Tao Te Ching. Xi'an's Great Mosque is one of the largest and most famous mosques in China. The mosque is built in a Chinese architectural style with gardens filling up the grounds. It still remains a place of worship today, and it is a major spot for religious activities of over 60,000 Muslims in Xi'an. This is a large-size Silk Road sculpture in Chang'an City.
This drawing shows what the Chang'an guard towers might have looked like. Artists interpreted this Song dynasty to look like this with all of the markets.
Near Chang'an, terracotta warriors were found guarding Shi Huangdi's tomb.
This is the Great Mosque in Xi'an. This is the Big Wild Goose Pagoda in Xi'an.
Before we go, I have a joke to tell.
What is it?
What do you call a bear with no teeth?
I don't know.
A gummy bear! Oh my god! Speaking of bears,
Chinese researchers dress up in panda suits to fool cubs to minimize contact with humans and to prepare captive-born cubs to live in the wild.
wow, that story's got me bamboozled.
I know. What a pandemonium.
Anyway, thanks for tuning in to World History Student News. I'm Elisa.
I'm Srikari, and we'll see you tomorrow.